Welcome to this lesson on how to give effective performance feedback to employees. Certainly one of the most challenging of tasks for most managers, giving feedback is a vital skill that all managers need to become good at. In this lesson, we will look at techniques you can use to become an expert at providing feedback to employees. As a manager, you will work with all types of people in all types of situations. You will be expected to assign work, monitor the progress, and of course, give feedback on performance. Delivering the appropriate type of feedback in the right manner significantly increases the chance that the receiver will hear, understand, accept, and act on that feedback. In so many ways, constructive feedback is central to your success as manager, and in this unit, we will help you refine this vital interpersonal skill. Good feedback normally requires the following. Firstly, it should be specific. Be specific about what behavior you want the person to change. Next, feedback should be timely. The feedback should be delivered as soon as possible for maximum effectiveness. Feedback should be expressed directly. The feedback should be delivered in a direct manner to the person whose behavior needs to change. Feedback should also be behavior-focused. The feedback should focus on the behavior that should be changed, not the person or their personality. Feedback should also be actionable. The feedback has to be about something the person can change. Complaining that their left-handedness is causing a slowdown on the assembly line is not productive, because it is not realistic to expect the individual to be ambidextrous. Finally, feedback should be helpful. Deliver the feedback in a manner that shows that you want to help the individual with this problem. Key attitudes include respectfulness, honesty, open-mindedness, and empathy. There are a number of feedback delivery methods. These include direct praise or criticism, the feedback sandwich, the open-faced sandwich, and 360 degrees feedback. We will look now at these methods in some detail. The first method is direct praise, or its direct opposite, direct criticism. Direct praise is often used in informal feedback situations, but can also be used as part of formal feedback. Some examples include: that report that you sent out today looked great, Jamie. Thank you for helping Paul out with that task, Lisa. Note that direct criticism should be used very rarely. Typically only when there is a safety issue. For example, you need to put your hard hat on, Erin. The next method is the feedback sandwich. The feedback sandwich is a constructive way of delivering negative feedback. You simply sandwich the negative between two positives. Here is an example. Susan, your report had all the right statistics in it, and I really appreciate that. However, we need you to use the company template. I've emailed it to you so that you can use it the next time. Good job getting it in on time too. The open-faced sandwich is a modified version of the feedback sandwich described in the preceding slide. In it, you give the person some praise, give the feedback, and then give constructive help on modifying the behavior. This places more focus on the problem at hand, but still gives the employee something positive to focus on. Here is an example. David, your report had all the right statistics in it, and I really appreciate that. However, we need you to use the company template. I've emailed it to you so that you can use it the next time. 360 degrees feedback is a tool that allows the employee to receive feedback from all the groups that they interact with, including customers, co-workers, supervisors, and people that report to them. It is a very intensive process, but when implemented properly, it can give people a real sense of their strengths and weaknesses. Although 360 degrees feedback is worth a course on its own, just remember that your team should be encouraged to deliver feedback to each other using some of the tools just discussed. This would improve communication and problem solving, and build team cooperation and maturity. It is also useful to distinguish between formal and informal feedback. Let's look first at informal feedback. This sort of feedback is quick, precise, and direct. When delivering this type of feedback, be sensitive to the message that you are sending and to the other people present. Criticizing a team member in front of the entire team will not be well received. Perhaps surprisingly, being praised in front of a group can make some people feel uncomfortable. Formal feedback, on the other hand, involves documentation and collaboration to identify areas of strengths and weaknesses, and to create action plans for addressing those areas. Formal feedback is typically focused on the long term rather than the short term. Most often, formal feedback will be delivered from the supervisor to their staff members. Some examples include formal reviews, goal-setting meetings, or reporting on the team's progress in a team meeting. Feedback to your team should be on the aspects of business performance which is relevant to them and of assistance in enabling them to improve performance. In other words, feedback should be on activities which are under their control. There is little point in giving feedback to the team on the financial performance of the business if A. It has no impact on their personal well-being, and B. They have no means of impacting the outcome of the measure. You can use a team scorecard as the basis on which to give feedback on the performance of the team. However, quantitative data should also be complemented by qualitative data. Ideally, you should seek feedback from individual team members on the performance of the team, and include this in your periodic reviews. Great leaders will always give praise where praise is due, and importantly, never take credit for the contributions of others. Most people agree that receiving recognition is one of the most important motivators. Ensuring that people know that they matter and that their efforts are appreciated will increase their self-esteem and, if a leader creates a culture of positive recognition, will in turn lead to a motivated, high-performing team. While leaders should be generous with their praise, if it is to have any real value to people, it must be delivered with integrity. To have impact, praise needs to be accurate, sincere, genuine and fair. Offering praise where it is not truly merited, or offering praise to a degree that exceeds what is truly merited, devalues genuine praise, and creates a dishonest environment. Here is an example of an unusual, but very powerful approach to praise. Rifleman Djegbadaz, from 1st Battalion, the Rifles, was honored a promotion in the field, for his service to Mali, while serving as part of the EDU training team. The Chief of the General Staff, General Sir Peter Wall, accompanied the head of the French Army, General Bertrand Rachmadou, to witness soldiers from 1 Rifles, delivering infantry training to their Malian counterparts. Both generals were hugely impressed with Rifleman Daz, as they observed him conducting a lesson in marksmanship principles. Astounded to see that the soldier was a rifleman, the Chief of the General Staff decided to promote him there and then, after briefly consulting with Rifleman Daz's company commander. Praise can be given formally in a meeting or informally. Informal recognition, a quiet word with someone in private, linked to the delivery of the performance or success, should be offered quickly and often. The informal, face-to-face interactions are often the most important ones, as they are natural and perhaps more heartfelt, particularly where the leader has made a personal effort to seek out the other person, to pass on their thanks. These informal interactions allow real leadership skills to be seen, as it shows the human and caring side of the leader. How and where do you give feedback to the team? Here are some options. Weekly meetings. Weekly scorecard reports can be distributed or presented to the team. This type of feedback should be limited to a small number of measures, ideally, no more than 5. Monthly meetings. The same principle can apply with the inclusion of some monthly or quarterly metrics. We recommend no more than 10. Notice boards. Reports can be placed on notice boards in team canteens, or team meeting rooms. Electronic. Reports can be distributed by email, all located on the company's intranet. Dashboard systems. Some organizations have the good fortune to deploy scorecard dashboard systems, which provide dynamic, and often continual feedback on performance. Feedback succeeds where it is timely and frequent. However, feedback needs to be meaningful and useful. The feedback needs to be communicated, interpreted and responded to. Therefore, the team needs to meet to discuss the performance information to identify responses to problems, and where possible, to celebrate achievements. As a team leader, you can use feedback to stimulate group discussion about performance, and to identify problems and their causes. This type of interaction as a group, if conducted effectively, can be highly motivating for team members. According to Webster's Dictionary, positive feedback is defined as feedback that tends to magnify a process or increase its output. Positive feedback creates positive results, however there is a need at times to balance out positive and negative feedback. Poor feedback can cause mutiny, feelings of low self-worth, anger or even hatred, towards the task or that person. Positive feedback, on the other hand, has power to exponentially build a team, make it work with fluidity, and create a synergy that other methods cannot duplicate. Timely and relevant positive feedback can improve employee performance. The absence of feedback can cause problems among a team, because of the perceived lack of recognition of hard work or special talents. However, solely giving positive feedback can also be detrimental. The research data suggests that if managers pay attention only to their strengths, their leadership development efforts may not address what their organizations need most. This in turn could be harmful not only to individual managers, but to entire organizations. Negative feedback, or coaching, as many companies like to call it, is a necessary evil. Constructive criticism is the only way to build character, otherwise the team members might not think that they are doing anything wrong, and can only do everything right. However, it is vital that the manager remains objective when giving negative feedback. Aim feedback at the behavior, not the person. Present the feedback honestly, sticking to the facts, rather than judging the person upon your perception. When giving negative feedback, a leader's focus must be on helping the person to improve. Feedback given with malintent will not have a positive outcome. If one is unable to give feedback in a sincere manner, it may be beneficial to have another respected member of the team give the feedback. Giving praise where praise is deserved, and not taking the credit for the efforts and successes of others, requires leaders to show humility. Leaders who behave with integrity also show humility. They recognize that the success of any team depends on all of the people in the team, and they appreciate how much they personally depend on the contributions of others. Their primary concern is for the success of the team, not their personal achievement. Effective leaders delight in praising the performance of others, while never taking the credit for other people's ideas or successes. Continuous feedback helps managers set definite, clear expectations, and holds employees accountable when those expectations aren't met. It's important to set clear expectations from the beginning, and then frequently evaluate performances based upon those objectives, so that everyone remains on the same page, and the project moves forward smoothly. When feedback is made a regular part of the working process, these issues are corrected in real time, instead of being noticed when it's far too late. Performance feedback increases alignment between the individual and the organization's business goals, and increases individual ownership or accountability for performance. In addition, the opportunity for meaningful performance discussions between managers and employees increase motivation and trust when handled well. There are 3 activities to complete for this unit. Take the time to complete these in your manual. In this way, you will better learn from and retain the knowledge covered in this unit. Many thanks for watching this lesson. Want to learn more? Click on our website to view our range of courses on human resources management.